CT here, back with another movie review. Today's movie, Twisters. This video will be a little bit different in that I will start out with no spoilers, just general things, and then in the second half I will talk a little bit into spoiler territory, but nothing too bad. Let's get started. Twisters. This is not a sequel to the original Twister, if you have heard of that movie. It stands alone. I would say if you have seen the original Twister movie, it does capture that original feeling of that movie. I felt like there were a lot of similarities, as well as a few things kind of mimicking the first movie, like the main leads. It was very different and yet the same in a way. Our main characters are Kate, blonde woman, and then Tyler, the sort of redneck caricature type. Those are the two absolute main leads, kind of resembling the two main leads from the original Twister. Twisters is a nice standalone, actiony, very exciting weather-related disaster movie. You come from tornadoes and destruction, you get it. That is exactly what you will see here. It does not disappoint. It's a fun movie. And that is exactly what you want from a summer movie. It's why I decided to go on opening weekend when I don't usually do that. Summer blockbusters were always meant to be something big, an event kind of deal where you could go and then talk about it. There's no agendas, there's no messages or whatever. I would recommend, if you can help it, before watching this movie, don't watch the trailers. It's usually my way of watching movies because trailers are so bad at either lying to you and putting fake scenes in or putting only the good jokes in, and so that it makes you think it's really good and you go and it's like, wow, so those were the only good jokes in the movie, that kind of thing. And they're really good at spoiling important things. Point being, I happened to watch a trailer after watching the movie. The very first opening thing in this trailer was, like, for me, a very shocking moment in the movie. There's a moment in the movie where it's just very mellow. I was legitimately thinking, okay, this is just character moments. We're not going to get anything here. It makes sense. We just had some actions and some things going on. We'll get to it the next time. No, big scene, big thing going on. Really exciting. Really, I have no idea where this is going type stuff. And the trailer ruins that. So we also have a few other characters in this movie that are relatively important. This foreign reporter named Ben. There's a whole group with the main guy I told you about, Tyler, played by Glenn Powell. He is a YouTuber and he comes with a whole bunch of YouTubers. And wow, they are savage. They nail it though. They are savage in the absolutely over the top nature of YouTubers who think everyone cares what they have to say, where they put on this huge show of being a caricature or this weirdo to be popular and get attention. They could not be more unlikable and more irritating and annoying when you first meet these people, and I'm pretty sure it's intentional. They kind of resemble, in the first movie, that the main guy played by Bill Paxton also has an assortment of strange people, except they're more strange in that they're just kind of strange to find storm chasing exciting and being into tornadoes, and they're not too over the top. But these guys, you could tell every last one of them had been carefully, the word nowadays is curated, carefully curated costumes or outfits to represent them, which is not unbelievable because there are so many YouTubers and influencers that everyone despises. There are plenty of people like myself who just like to share our thoughts or opinions and things like that. Just kind of trying to get a discussion going, having fun making these videos. Then you get the attention seekers. The ones like these people who just do really stupid stuff, could get people killed, could get themselves killed, like chasing a tornado. And when you see how they do it, it's pretty hilarious in a horrifying way. It's believable, sadly enough. And then we got Kate, the main female lead, played by Daisy Edgar Jones. She's meant to be a very intelligent character. She studied tornadoes and storms and things like that. She's very smart. She went to school, had a school project I believe she was working on at one point in the movie. She knows her stuff. And she's also, of course, one of those characters who... Now, This is what I like too. So she's a lot of times movies and TV shows just love to have that character who can just know stuff. They can just be better than everyone else for no reason, sensing things. But I felt like it worked in this movie because they back it up with her being extremely intelligent and she studies this stuff. She's got pretty good excuses for why she just has a knack for it. Why she's just very good at figuring out which storms might become a tornado and which might not. And sure, they still technically go down to the gut feeling thing, but I would say that that is a thing. I felt they played it the correct way. And then along with her, we have a professional team that are being hired to essentially put devices out there to record the tornado and get data from it in order to make informed decisions later down the line. It's basically a way to, I think, figure out if one is going to become a damaging tornado or not. Trying to figure out how exactly they work, because a lot of, in real life, tornadoes are kind of, there's a lot known about them, but there's a lot not known about them, which makes them so difficult to try to work with and avoid or stop or be ready for. Nature, unpredictable, right? The main one, besides Kate, with those people is a man named Javi, played by Anthony Ramos. For now, I'll just say, out of all of the characters, not just those three, Javi, Kate, and Tyler, but also the entire team with Tyler, with the YouTubers, and the whole professional team with Kate and Javi doing business things and everything, I will say, I wonder if this was intentional or not. I kept waffling between who I liked and who I didn't like, and whether I liked anyone, or maybe I liked everyone, or I legitimately just kept flip-flopping all over the place with, oh, they're so annoying. Oh no, this person's super annoying. Why is this person acting like that? I just was all over the place on whether or not I liked anybody. I thought that was pretty amusing. I think it's because in the end it doesn't really matter to me, because this isn't the kind of movie where the characters are going to make or break the movie for you. It's the action. Does it deliver on the weather events? That's what you're really here for. You don't really care if there's any drama between the characters or romances, or you're not here for that. Or maybe you are. But for me, I saw a tornado movie and I went, let's watch tornadoes. And that's what I got. I was very satisfied. I had an enjoyable time. You will not be disappointed if you like tornadoes. If you like decent characters, I'll give them that. They're decent. They tend to surprise you here and there. And there are definitely moments where they're all fine and they're not annoying or strange or anything like that. So they service the movie just fine. As far as I can tell, not being an expert, just a casual viewer, the sound design and how everything was very good. Your general story, your plot, your characters, your events, your visuals, it is exactly what it's trying to be, a fun summer movie. And it is what you will get. If you have not seen the first Twister movie, I actually do recommend you watch that. You don't have to watch it before this one. There's nothing really in common enough to make it necessary. This is very much meant to be its own thing. But I think you would enjoy that movie if you end up enjoying this movie, and vice versa. Now I will move into the spoiler section. So I'll go ahead and give you that spoiler warning now. Okay, reminder, spoilers, you had your warning. This movie has a group of YouTubers led by Tyler, our cowboy hick archetype. And then we have Kate sort of standing on her own as a character, having her own motives. She has an incident in the past that has traumatized her. And there is a time in the movie where she understandably is traumatized and can't really take risks. And at the same time, it's so frustrating because what they're doing, it's important and people could be in danger when you're having an episode of trauma. However, it's not surprising she would have this happen to her. She probably shouldn't have been out there in the first place. And then later on, though, she completely just seems to have gotten over her trauma to an unbelievable level where she's just giggling and having fun. It's strange to me, that change. That was definitely a turn I was confused about. I get that they were trying to show this is how she used to be. I'm just not sure someone could change that quickly. It kind of works, but at the same time I was a little bit, it didn't make me think less of the movie or anything. It just made me kind of scratchy my head type thinking, going, huh, that's kind of, why is she so excited? Weird. Anyway, that's Kate and her stuff. Then we have Javi and how he is now. He was there during that traumatic day. They were working on a project together, so they have history. He is now working with this businessman where he's buying up properties after they get destroyed in a tornado. Essentially, Javi is getting the funding to study tornadoes and get information on tornadoes to be able to afford all the nice gadgets and trucks and things that they have to be able to do really important work by giving this man a heads up what properties are going to be destroyed, where he can swoop in and offer money to people who have lost everything or lost a lot. He wants land. And then you got the YouTubers on Tyler's side who don't really care about anything but being on camera and having a good time and doing stupid stuff. There's a ton of people on social media who call themselves influencers, and they do really foolish things for attention. And of course, hopefully money, I'm sure. Point being, so we have the YouTuber side and we have these professional business type people side. And the movie clearly starts you off liking the business side and looking down on the influencer YouTuber side, and then trying to change it. They try to make it seem like, oh no, these YouTubers aren't that bad because look, they're doing a nice thing over here. Oh, and look at over at these business people. They're making this man money. How evil. He's taking advantage of those people in their hard times. Even though we don't really know enough to know if the guy is taking advantage of them or if he's offering them a good amount of money, we have no idea. I could imagine maybe what they were trying to say is this guy was coming along and offering a lowball amount of money for desperate people, but we aren't really told that. The point I'm making here is that the movie goes from hate these camera youth people, YouTubers, those weirdos, these business people, they're the real professionals, you should side with Kate and the others, to flipping it. Kate kind of, there's no other way to say it than Kate kind of switches sides and she joins the YouTubers and the cowboy guy against the business people, sort of. They're not really against each other, but you can tell the movie's kind of going for that idea. I just thought it was funny because it felt so unnecessary. Why can't people just be who they are? That's more realistic than, oh, but there's actually this hidden kindness or this hidden evilness. I would argue there was no evilness, and I wouldn't really say what the YouTubers were doing was really worth much. There's this one time, no, it kept happening at least 2 or 3 times. They were clearly trying to make you look at Kate as the good girl, the good person. She's so pure. Isn't she just always right and the best? By doing a strange thing. Whenever a town or city was in danger, she would insist on, we have to go there. We have to help people. Which consisted of going there and then screaming through a storm, get to shelter, run. Like, they weren't already doing that because they can see there's a storm.
That doesn't make sense.
It was just unbelievably funny how this girl just kept, at least twice in the movie, maybe 3 times, we have to go to town or we're bad people to help. I went to see this movie with my mother, and even she at one point was like, what are they supposed to do? There's nothing to do there. They're not helping. There was an incident too where they're in a town and they go into a movie theater because I guess it was the only option besides the one other option that was probably already full or too far away, I'm not sure. But it was strange to me. They didn't really give us a good look at the layout of the theater, but I would imagine there were interior rooms and things like the lobby and bathrooms. And instead of going to those places, they all went into a movie theater, which I really didn't understand. Now, maybe the layout of this place was such that it was so small that there was only room in the theater, so I could be completely off base here. In general, movie theaters, you could have other areas that are towards the middle of the building, which is where you want to be. You want to be where there's solid walls. Obviously in basements if you can, but if there's no basements, then you want to be away from the sidings. The tornado can hit sides of buildings and take it out. But they were all in this theater and they all became endangered. I think they did it just because they wanted to show a movie theater screen being sucked away. That's what I think. And then the screen was now like the storm and the actual reality of what was going on out there, sucking things out. It's a cool movie thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it ruined anything for me, but I just kept wondering, isn't there anywhere better for these people to be sheltering? Like I said, maybe I'm off base, and this really was the only room to go. But as far as I could tell, it didn't make sense for me that they were going there. There is this moment, I'm not sure if it's about the middle of the movie, but Kate is with Tyler. They go to this rodeo event. It seemed to me, because I had not seen the trailer then, oh, this is just kind of boring. I should let you know, I did watch this movie with a headache. I try after the fact to make sure I'm not letting how I felt affect me later as I'm talking now, but it might have affected how I took things. Hopefully it didn't affect things though, because I still was in a good mood despite it. Now, with that said, we're at this rodeo. I fully expected it to just be 10 to 20 minutes of a rodeo, and they were just going to talk and get to know each other, maybe have feelings for each other or whatever. And I was getting bored very quickly because I just did not care if they were going to have a budding relationship. Okay, I'm not here for romance. I don't care. It just didn't. Okay, I wasn't in the mood. Which again, it could have been the headache, or it could have just been not what I'm here for. But then we barely had that happening when boom, big action scene. Guess what? Another tornado, and this one looked pretty darn big. Very exciting, very heart-pounding dangerous. And I had not expected it whatsoever. Probably the most exciting part in the movie for me. Even more so than the opening tornado that you get. So with her traumatic past, what happens is what I knew would happen. Okay? I don't think it's a detriment to the movie. I just thought it was very obvious. While that was a pretty eventful thing, it just didn't do much for me. It felt like something we had to just get through to explain her past, inform on her future where she doesn't really want to chase storms anymore. It was exciting, but not as exciting as that rodeo one, which just shocked me. So it already automatically wins because I wasn't expecting it, and it was pretty bad. Very scary. Not only did they get that tornado siren warning, it came way too late. That tornado was right there. The weather people failed in warning people that there was potential that was one thing I definitely wondered, is it seemed like they completely failed constantly to even have tornado watches. They didn't even bother issuing those. Apparently, it was either you are going about your day or you get an instant tornado. It's right there. That's how it felt. And that other exciting moment that wasn't as exciting as the rodeo one was the tornado that hit an oil refinery or an oil area or some kind of place that was exploding and causing fire, and that would get sucked up into the tornado, kind of making it look like a fire tornado a little bit. And that one was extremely exciting because there were characters that nearly died. They couldn't get out. I wondered, when the main female Kate switched sides, I did wonder if they were going to now just discard her people as expendable, and I was a little bit worried about that. They did not, although people almost died. And even on the YouTuber side, people almost died. I felt like they did a really good job of keeping you guessing, not quite sure where it was going next or what could happen next or who could live, who could die. This is a fun summer movie. I would say worth the watch. I do yays and nays. This is a yay for me. While I complain about certain things that irritated me, or I wasn't sure what they were trying to do, or I didn't like how they did something, it was very minor. Did not ruin my enjoyment of this at all. It's not an amazing movie, but it's a very good movie, and it does what it sets out to do. This movie is a yay for me. I recommend, assuming you like severe weather movies. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. It supports the channel, which is very much a baby. It's an infant. Maybe it'll grow. Maybe it'll stay a cute little baby. But that's what it is. And I appreciate every last view anyway. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie. What are your thoughts? Did you like this movie? Did you have some problems with it? If you've seen the original Twister movie, which one did it better? Do you have a favorite character? Do you have some characters you despised? Maybe you're rooting for someone in particular? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Life's rough. Remember to stay entertained. Bye.